Today, going out for some ptarmigan. It is by far my favorite type of meat to eat. Something about ptarmigan meat, it's just delicious. It's this purple red meat that's just so rich, so wonderful, and it's such a beautiful bird. You almost hate to eat them, but once you do, boy, they're delicious. And it's the last day of ptarmigan season right now, so I got my stuff, got my survival pack in case something goes wrong, my skis, 22, ammo, some food, some snacks. It's time to go. I used to ride with my rifle just on my shoulder the whole day. And now with the metal hardware and stuff on my shoulders, I don't like that anymore. So I put it away until I get into ptarmigan country and then break it out. So I've been hunting ptarmigan most of my life. And there's not a year that goes by that I don't get out there and get one of them birds. And I ain't gonna let this year stop me either. Life almost got too fast. And all of a sudden I realized, looked at the calendar and was like, holy cow, season's closing today. Actually tomorrow, but I got time to do it today. So that's what I'm gonna do. There are a few things I enjoy more than going out in the back country and getting myself some dinner. And even better when it's my favorite thing to eat. Ptarmigan. That's right. All right. Let's hit the trail. All right, made it to ptarmigan country. Looking for willow ptarmigan today. There's a few different varieties. I think there's 3. There's rock ptarmigan, willow ptarmigan, and tundra ptarmigan? I don't know, been living here my whole life. Still got a lot to learn, but looking for willow ptarmigan today, and 5's my limit. And had a little snow last night, which is nice because when there's a fresh snow, I like to go around just looking for their tracks. If I can find where their tracks are at, usually you can follow those tracks and find little groups of them. They'll be anywhere from 2 or 3 birds together to 20 or 30. And you find them, that's a good thing. Now they are brown in the summer, but in the wintertime, they're quite clever, and they are white to hide from their predators and such. So they're hard to spot for sure. You got to keep your eyes out, and that's why I kind of like to look for the tracks, because if I can find the tracks, that at least lets me know I'm in the area. And with fresh snow, it's easier to do that. When it's really hard snow, or it hasn't snowed for a while, the tracks are all blurry, they're hard to read. So weather looks pretty good. There's a bit of a storm kind of over in the top of the valley there that looks like it's trying to push across the mountains and stuff, but I'm going to head up into the great expanses and yeah, see if I can find some dinner. Looks like that snow's moving in. Hopefully I don't lose visibility. I got my survival gear with me, and if it gets bad, I can hunker down under a tree and see if the storm passes. If not, I can follow my GPS back on my track line, or if need be, sleep under a tree. Wait till the day passes. You definitely don't want to push any luck out here in this kind of country. You got to move slow and methodical, which is good because when you're hunting, you want to kind of move slow anyways, or else you miss your birds. So stick along. There's open water holes that you can fall into around here, and stumps you can hit. Been a pretty bad winter, so usually this time of year at this elevation we've got anywhere from 4 to 10 feet of snow, and right now we've got, I don't know, a couple feet at best. So that means there's more hazards out there, and you got to be a little bit more careful. So, but I got my pistol, I got food, I got supplies, fire starter, sleeping stuff, hand saws, all that jazz. And I got my skis, so if my snow machine breaks down, I can always at least ski back about 30 miles, but still, it's a lot faster skiing than it is post-holing through the snow. So I'm gonna head out. Come on, honey. Well, I'm not too proud a man to say that I forgot my phone on a tree in the middle of nowhere. Got pretty far too, a few miles. I was just having a great time, you know, out there living my best life, just doing what I always do, and then was like, oh, forgot the camera. Still getting used to it, you know. Usually I just go out and do my thing, but it's fun to share this with you all, and so I'm making the effort because you guys showed up, so will I. I just have to remember to keep bringing my camera along. Ridiculous. Well, this little storm kind of moved in and just made it incredibly flat light, like the hardest lighting to see. You can't tell if you're going up or down or sideways or straight up perpendicular. Snow's nice, but I've been sinking down into some willow patches and stuff, and this machine here, it's a heavy one. You get this thing stuck and I'm skiing out, so gonna poke around a little bit more, but it's a tough day for hunting. It's just when you cannot see, you cannot see. And when you're out by yourself in the middle of nowhere, you gotta be a little bit smarter. Or at least nowadays I am. Hell, back in my 20s, yeah, I'd just rip all over the country, sleep under a tree, stick my toes in some hot water and call it soup. But I'm playing a little safer nowadays, and that's a good thing. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of work this hillside here, basically weaving in and out of the willows, trying to just, like I said, find some tracks or find a bird. Right now, as hard as it is to see, like there's a snowdrift, and all of a sudden you're just like, bam, you hit the snowdrift, and all of a sudden you're driving along, and all of a sudden you drop 3 feet, and then you're going straight. I mean, it's a little unnerving. It's exciting. It's good, but I'd sure like to find a couple birds if I can get an eye on them. We'll see. Still just a blessed day to be out and about in the middle of nowhere. I ain't seen a person the whole day. Pretty beautiful. Yeah, not seeing anything besides snowdrifts. At this tree right up here. But we got some snow, at least. You know. Hey! This is why you bring a pair of skis or snowshoes with you. You know, there was about 6-8 inches of snow at my place at 1,400 feet. Now we're up here about 2,000, and there's, you know, good solid 3-4 feet of snow, which is nice to see. But It's a little hard going on this sled of mine with the visibility and whatnot, but I think I might put on my skis and go poke around. Usually there's so much snow up here that just the very tops of the willows are sticking out, and the ptarmigan don't really have much coverage, and even the spruce trees are kind of buried and stuff. So you know, they're easier to find. Right now, the willows are sticking up higher, and that's what they're eating off of, little willow buds. But it's hard to find them. So since the visibility is so bad, I'm having a hard time with the snow machine. I think I'll get on my skis and just poke into these taller sections of willows and see if I can't rustle something up, find some tracks, and nothing else. Have a nice little ski. It's beautiful. It's a winter wonderland up here. It's just visibility is pretty bad, and there's not as much snow as there usually is. So working with what we've got. I'm gonna get on the skis and go take a little tootle, see if we can find a bird. First I gotta get out of the snow here. Don't. Hey. Sometimes you just want to get a little quieter too. I love having a snow machine. I just went 30 miles in 45 minutes or so versus on skis. It would have taken me all day. So it's great having the machine, but they're loud, they're stinky, they break down, they leave you stranded sometimes, not today. Skis, tried and true for hundreds of years. I'm hoping this sun pops out just a little bit maybe or something. Gives me a little more visibility would be nice. But if not, so be it. All right. Oh, that just feels better, you know? Go take a look around. Now I can get right up into the willows, underneath the trees. Give this place a good scour. I came all the way out here, might as well put all my effort into it. And if I don't get a bird, that's all right. It's a beautiful day. But I'm hoping. God willing, we'll be eating ptarmigan for dinner. Yeah. Kind of a cool little tree here, this guy. You can tell it's got these scrapes on it. Branches broken off and stuff. That would be from a bull moose coming out here and taking its rack and just rubbing it into the tree, smashing on it, grunting, making some noises, being all tough, trying to attract the mate. And yeah, they scrape the bark off of these, break off branches and stuff, and kind of use them as their territorial markers. You know, they'll let another bull know there's a bigger bull in the area. That's the kind of stuff when you're out skiing around on foot. You know, you might see it on your snow machine real quick. Ooh, there it goes. But when you're taking the time just in the silence, finding stuff like this, and makes me think of moose hunting. This is some tough country out here for moose hunting. You got to have a horse to go around out here. It's thick, and there's big old grizzly bears too. There's a few around me right now sleeping somewhere. Hopefully I don't fall into one of their dens and wake them up. Okay, I'm gonna keep checking it out. It's my first time going one-handed skiing, but it's working. Haven't seen any tracks yet, but we'll see. Taller willows in here in this section with a couple of spruce trees and stuff. It's prime ptarmigan country, so I'm gonna poke into here and see if I can't track one down. Some people use shotguns for bird hunting, which makes a lot of sense because if you flush a bird, you got that quick shot, but then you end up with a bunch of pellets in your meat and stuff, and I'm more of a sharpshooter kind of guy. I like to take the headshot if possible, and once you find them, they don't fly too far is the nice thing. You might spook them and flush them up, but you can watch them and then know, oh yeah, they just landed over there, and then kind of creep up on them and get a good shot with the 22. So I like to do that style myself. All right, let's poke in the willows here and see if we can see something. I've been riding snow machines before, and you're up on these willows, and there's just a couple feet of, just a little willow pushing out on top, but all of a sudden, you drop down 5 feet down into a big old hole that the willows got all bent over, and the snow was just on top of all the willows, man. And that snow machine falls down. Now you're 6 feet underneath the snow with your snow machine. Spend the whole day shoveling to get out of something like that. It's just bad news. So all the more reason to enjoy being on the skis for now. Not a sign of nothing. Not even a little Tweety bird. Nobody. Quiet. It's nice. Usually I get out and hunt more than the last day. Visibility and all, you like to hedge your bets, but it's been a kind of tough winter for me, so I haven't been out hunting as much as I usually do for ptarmigan, but it's okay. I made it. I made it out. I can come up here and just tootle around and ski whenever I like, but I don't get to shoot a ptarmigan after tomorrow. I went through that patch, went through all of this. I went through down over there. I mean, I think I'm going to try to head back to the snow machine. It'll be dark in another hour and a half or so. So I want to make sure to get back to a comfortable trail that I'm familiar with before dusk comes, because out here it's bad enough visibility right now. It gets dark, and you know, even with a GPS it gets hard. You'll run into ravines and little canyons and gullies and stuff that you can't go across. You got to go around them, and you know, A to B straight line ain't the way you get there in this kind of country. So Fun little ski though. And I'm not giving up. A little bit of daylight, I'll cruise back on the snow machine and kind of peruse. It did a little bit better visibility now. It stopped snowing and I got a little bit lighter, so I can see the textures of the earth a little bit better. But so the willow ptarmigan are aptly named because they live off of willows. And this is what they're eating. These little willow bushes. They'll come along and eat these little buds right off of it. You know, they're just coming along and taking these little willow berries. That's what they're eating. That's what they're full of when you clean out their gizzards. They're just full of these little willow buds. And when there's a lot of good snow, obviously the best willow buds are on the top because the moose haven't been grazing those big, huge willows. Because in the summertime, moose can't reach to the top of those big willows. And in the wintertime, it snows way up 6, 8, 10 feet of snow. And then just the top of those fresh little willow buds that no moose has ever eaten. And those birds can just walk around on their feet. They got the coolest feet. I wish I could show you guys some, but they're like snowshoes. These big bird feet. They're just fluffy and really practical for walking around in the climate that they walk around in. Well adapted animals for sure. Go from brown to white, hide from their predators in the winter. Got snowshoe feet for walking on top of snow. Well insulated. They can hunker down underneath a tree in the nastiest of weather. They don't mind. It's pretty cool. Well, head back to the snow machine and maybe have a little snack first, drink water, and then start heading back towards my cabin, but forever vigilant, keep my eyes open, because you never know. Bird comes out of nowhere. All of a sudden, you spend a whole day and think, well, and then on your way home, boom, there they are. So it ain't over till it's over. The hunting don't quit until my rifle's back on the hook at the cabin. So. Back to the snow machine. Well, that was a good little trek. Got around back to civilization. Whew! I got my heart pumping. Beautiful. No birds. So beautiful. I think I might sit down, have a piece of quiche that I made, handful of nuts, and then start working my way back home, but kind of take a slightly different route along the way, try to stick to the willows, see if I can find some tracks. Like I said, I mean, it's kind of a clean slate out right now, and if there were tracks, I'd see them, and then I'd be able to follow them, but so far, not even a bunny or a weasel. So, I'm not complaining. It's a beautiful day. And another hour light left, so never know, might find something on the way back home. Well, I'm not going home starving. Gotta come prepared. Moments like this I just cherish. When you're out in the middle of nowhere by yourself, doing the thing you love, whether you're having a successful hunt as far as meat goes or a successful hunt as far as having a good time goes, are two different things. quiche in the middle of a Alaskan wilderness with not another person around for miles. Feels all right to me. Weather's pushing back in. Finish my quiche and head back to the ranch before it gets dark and I end up sleeping under a tree. Fun day though. You never know. Just might find one on the way home. But if not, it's moments like these that make me appreciate where I live and the way I live. So, good quiche.